you ever have one of those days when you wake up and don't want to do anything? Everything in grey colors? Well, living in GTA is quite common occurrence, and lingering questions hang in the air. What's the point of everything?
Well, even on this cherry day, I think Remnant 2 is one of the best games of the year, and I can already see how it will be very much underappreciated by the Game Awards in order to please other big studios with generic vision. As usual, I express my thoughts on the game with minimum spoiler content. I must confess, I never played the first part of the game Remnant of the Ashes. It just slipped under the radar. However, I'm glad that somehow the universe randomly delivered a second gem to my attention among other default pastime that rarely brings you joy. Did I miss any storyline agenda? Absolutely not. I never felt left out or like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. Rarely, I did not convert NPC storytelling to my comprehensive mind IQ. Even if uncertainties appear, those instances were exceptions and not regularities. Talking about the story, it is engaging, with a very much linear approach. Therefore, I enjoy the ride. I could not predict what happens behind the next corner. However, when I did, I was often surprised in a good way, and was waiting for what was coming next. It is really a rare form of entertainment for experienced human beings. Sometimes cheesy, definitely not perfect, but engaging, begging you to pay attention to details as it might help you to solve a puzzle in order to get better loot. And looting in Remnant 2, my friends, is sublime. I mean, have you ever watched a movie when the main character tries to connect the dots to solve a particular mystery and have this moment of revelation when everything brightens and shines, all flowers thrown at his feet and he stands atop of Everest? Okay, slightly exaggerating here. Still, those moments come in dozens, and please do yourself a favor and do not use the internet in order to solve them, cause the moment you find a solution it brings so much satisfaction. Obviously, unless you are hard stuck like my homeland in the 90s, then yeah, by all means, find some hints. What surprised me the most is that each and individual loot you find in this game feels rewarding. That propels the sense of exploration, and scenery you stun upon is worth your vision. Team behind art design made each location feel unique, and I'm not using this word lightly. Nothing feels copy-paste. You literally have to see it to believe it. One of the well-known reviewers of the game mentioned that Remnant 2 combined God of War, Returnal, and Control games, and hell yeah, those are one of my favorite titles of all time. You will find Kratos remarks, Returnal scenery change with the sci-fi mystic of Control. I also must add Bloodborne. We all must agree it was and still is the perfect Souls-like game out there. I am open to discussion in the comments if you disagree with me. So the game throws a lot of Easter eggs and remarks towards players. You can tell developers are actual gamers with a great taste in genre. In my opinion, they created something that they would enjoy playing themselves. Nothing short of imagination and money-making battle passes plus transactions paid to win, they are absent. Just a pure game for the gamers to enjoy, and I think the recipe will pan out in the long term from a financial aspect. It has a chance to become a cult classic in the long run, and I wish dearly it will. Moving on, I mentioned the game is Souls-like, but with guns. I was never a huge fan of this genre, though I appreciate it in its own essence. I did play Elden Ring, Demon's Soul, all Dark Souls series, plus as I mentioned before Bloodborne, and managed to complete most of them. But let me tell you, those guns are making so much evident difference. Of course they are, you might say, Captain Obvious. Bottom line, they are adding missing ingredients and improving the Souls-like genre. And Remnant 2 can stay as individual success in its own right. Most weapons feel different, though I used only around 10% of them, just like a guess. I stick to my guns, no pun intended, in order to upgrade them to progress through my nightmare story difficulty. Expect hard gameplay with epic bosses, expect unexpected and well-wrapped packages served to you. great pacing in general, and inventive gameplay. Here, I must stop in order not to majorly spoil one of many mechanics of Remnant that I had never seen before in any game in general. One subtle detail worth mentioning I noticed during my playthrough is that stamina bar does not deplete outside the combat, which makes sprinting or exploring non-stop and does not stagnate general game flow. Great attention to details by developers. Like there is so much to discover and be amazed by. I just want you to trust the process on your own or with some friends. Which raises another question. Can you play this game solo? As so many sources proclaim it is co-op experience, my answer is certainly yes. I would even go as far to say this game must be played solo in order to go through all the game's lore at your own pace in order to read or comprehend your findings. Unless you have a like-minded friend with the patience and thirst for knowledge as you are. My advice? First playthrough go solo, after you figure out most of the game, play co-op. In both instances, you will have plenty of fun and no regrets.
That's my credo, no regrets.
Now let's talk about the usual characteristics. Music. Let me tell you, it is very much ambient, so make sure to play the game in headphones. There are no masterpieces that stuck in your head in order to Shazam them, but they never felt out of place. What Remnant excels upon is sound effects. In order to warn you of an upcoming luring danger, there will be specific noises that you will learn to recognize as you move along your playthrough. Also, some of them will massively help you to defeat bosses in order to time your dodge action. Each weapon, either melee or shooting, will have distinctive phonetic attributes tied towards it. Actually, just reminding myself, by the end of the game there will be one particular sound that will stick in your head. It is very much annoying, though it adds to the whole atmosphere of desperation and the environment's peculiar extinction. Again, keeping myself away from spoilers, if I have not mentioned yet, game graphics are eye to behold. I am talking about the environment. It is not on Naughty Dog level, though given resources I am pretty sure very much achievable by gunfire games sometimes in the future. Obviously the game is not perfect. Let's talk about negative features. NPC models, especially humans looking slightly twisted on eye, and hey, maybe I'm asking too much, but if they could create photorealistic models in Mortal Kombat back in the 90s, why can't we do it nowadays? And what's the deal with the lip syncing in games nowadays? Quite visibly, more often than not, out of tune. I had a few crashes, also got stuck in one particular pixel environment, so I had to restart my PS5. Though the game was saved in auto mode and progress loss was minimalistic. No hard losses there. Nevertheless, I am certain the team behind will fix all issues and negligence is out of the question, as we already received 2 big patches within the fortnight of release to improve performance issues, general bugs and game balance. Okay, few of you who follow my channel know I like to judge and discuss general water in the game. Water done right, game is top notch, simple as that. Remnant absolutely nailed it. Just try to stroll while you are half waist in the water. It feels right, motions feels grudgy, splashes, lightning and waves are natural, no rolls bring a realistic feeling, all waterfalls are transparent, so much details like in real life. Sometimes you have to stop to notice small details that living possesses. All in all, Remnant 2 is a terrifyingly beautiful game with an addictive loop of exploring and grinding with many twists and turns based on mild mechanical surprises. There are not many, in fact only few games subjectively worth playing after completing the main story. Remnant Part 2 is one of them. Disciple to Souls-like genre with its own identity, genuine intention of Gunfire Games studio to bring the premium product to a mass cultural consumption. I felt major care for creation, and I can't wait to explore, like Marco Polo, more untold stories from the depth of dungeons. And I think I'll just leave it here. Have a nice life, strangers.